Here she go. Never mind. Here she go. Boom, boom. Here she go. Oh, God. It's about to go down. It's about to go down. Woo-wee. Oh, God bless you, sis. Sis. Oh,
hey,
sister.
how are you?
Salem, how you doing, sis? Oh, God,
Good.
listen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This ain't your first rodeo here on the Cherry Love platform, sis. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you so much for answering the last minute calling. I am so excited to hear you speak and all that good stuff and to break this here down. So before we go into anything, Pastor Sean, of course, Brother Brian know you. Pastor Sean, this is Sister Salem. I think you remember her. Sister Salem, that's Pastor Sean. I know you know him because you be in the chat. Before we get started, sis, come on and greet these wonderful men and women of God. Say hi, whatever you want to throw on the table. Praise God. The floor is yours. Go right ahead.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hey guys, God bless you all. I can't see the chat, so that sucks, but I hope everyone's doing good, and I'm excited, and thanks, Sister Cherry, for inviting me to your platform to explain this.
Oh yeah, no, sis, no, thank you. Thank you. Listen. Okay. Before we go in, so family, I told you there's some explaining. Look at the title again. These Hebrew Israelites, these Hebrew fakes got a lot explaining to do, and you about to find out why we said what we said, why I titled this. So I'm gonna go ahead on here, and Sister Salem going to explain some things. I'm gonna read the post here that our beloved sister literally shared. What got me all like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to read this here post to you. What brought this? What Sister Salem is going to break down to you. So I want you to take a real good look. I know I couldn't blow it up any further than that, but I'm going to read it to you and all that good stuff. So our beloved sister posted this here on Facebook. So let me go ahead and start reading. It says, sorry for the dramatic XXX exclamation marks, but I just wanted you guys to see the faulty of this LOL. I know I sound mean text though. Text though. The only reason I have shared this is because of Pastor William Brown of the Bloom Church. Now, y'all remember him. That's Mr. Majors, who be running with Sister E and Teo and all them, right? He be lying and sliding too. He ain't a real pastor though. But anyway, let's keep going. At least that's what I say. They use GEDmatch to prove his members of his church that he is an Israelite. Sister E and Kelly Richardson, Ron Shields, DeMonte Poland, aka Yahukanan, exposed DNA expose XXXXXXX. Look at that. GEmatch.com failed XXXXX. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Okay, I told you guys these Hebrew Israelites are so false, and it's an error. They used GEDmatch.com and chose the wrong population. So they all get in the same results. So they all will get the same results. So they will all use, I'm going to repeat that. They use GEDmatch.com and choose the wrong population. So they all can get the same results. So they all can get the same results.
What are they talking about? Okay, what are they talking about? So I went and Googled. I said, let me Google Boom Church. So nothing came up. Then I Googled Boom Church DNA. I say, wait a minute. Boom Church. Boom. Okay, let me see if this. And the first thing I noticed was Boom Church Orlando. I said, wait a minute, we don't have an assembly in Orlando. We got an assembly in Jacksonville. We got an assembly in Fort Lauderdale. We got an assembly in Atlanta. We got an assembly in Nairobi, Kenya. We got an assembly in all these other areas, okay, other places where we got mentioned. We don't have no Boom Church Orlando, not yet. So I say something, hold on. So I click on the link. I clicked on the link and it took me to the Facebook page. All right, well, this is our Facebook page here. Okay, now look at this. All right, look at what it says. This is Boom Church here. All right, Boom Church, Believers of One Messiah Church. Boom. This is our Facebook page. All right, this is our Facebook follow page, and you can follow that page if you like. Okay. So I said, wait a minute. Okay, this is our page. So when I went back to Google, I clicked on this link that says Boom Church Orlando. So it took me to Boom Church Orlando Facebook page. I said, wait a minute, hold on. I remember this church because I had to tell a couple of our members that that wasn't our church because they went on Facebook and just clicked the like button, all right, because they thought it was our church. This church is in Orlando. And I looked at the logo. I said, wait a minute, this is not Boom Church. I mean, this is Boom Church, but this is another Boom. This is Body of One Ministries. I said, wait a minute, hold on. You telling me, and here's the link down here. If you look on, let me blow it up real quick. Let's see if I can blow it up. Let me see if I can blow it up here. Trying to find, okay, the Zoom, there it is. Okay, here it is right here. Body of One Ministry, okay? Body of One Ministry. Now look at this. This is their website. I mean, this is their logo. They have a circle with a B and a 1 in the middle of it, okay? That's their logo, but it's Body of One Ministry. So I say, well, okay, let me scroll down. Let me look. They have a website. So you click on the website, boom.church. Okay, that's their website, boom.church. So I said, wait a minute, hold on. Let me click on the link. So I clicked on the link to the website and it took me to their website. So when you go on their website, they have what's called right here on the drop down, okay? They have right here on the drop down under the welcome, you click and it has it says New Christian DNA. So now this is a Christian church, y'all. Listen to this now. Now we're being accused as Israelites of promoting DNA because we want to prove to somebody that we're an Israelite and prove to other people. Well, this particular church has DNA testing. So I said, wait a minute, hold on. Let me go under to make sure. So I started doing a little more research. So I scroll down, I see the DNA testing and it says, are you a match? So I said, wait a minute, let me see it. Because I want to make sure that I do my due diligence, that I don't bring any accusations against this particular ministry, okay? To make sure that I don't put nothing out there that is false, that's saying that they promoting DNA tests, all because I see the word DNA testing, you know, so I had to make sure. So I said, well, let me go look around. I kept looking around, so I kept reading. And it says here, under the DNA testing, it says, what are you made of? What is the body of one ministries made of? How does it all work together for the glory of God? Our DNA testing classes, I say, wait a minute, DNA testing classes have been designed to both inform you about who Boom is and what kind of church we are, as well as give us an opportunity to find out what makes you tick and where exactly you fit in the Boom family. Now, if you look at this conversation, this is not talking about DNA testing, genomes, haplogroups. No, it's simply a play on words. Okay, it's almost like when you say, when growing up in church, especially in the Pentecostal church, we use terms like, hey, you know, do you have the ministry's DNA? You know, or hey, if you're part of Boom, you should have our DNA, which means it's another play on words of you should have our attributes, you should move like we move, you know, you should understand the mission, all these type of words. It's a play on words. It's not even actual DNA testing.
Uh-oh, you guys were just exposed. Sister Sleep, Ethel, Sleepy, E, Kelly, Sliding, Richard. You ain't no pastor, Mr. Richardson. And MJ, your hookarong, your hookanana, you kahana nana nana, wah, all of y'all. Tell me I'm lying. Any Black person who took a DNA test. Now, let me go to the next part of the slide. So let me check see if it was a second part of it, because I believe it was. All right, and I'll just read it to you. She said, all y'all tell me I'm lying. Any Black person who took a DNA test, ask for the DNA information and have them send your file. Run it on GEDmatch.com and choose MLDP. I'm going to say that again. Tell me I'm lying.
A lot of Hebrews like to use GEDmatch.com to prove that they are Israelite, but the problem is this. If you look at all of their DNA results, they get the same results in the same order. Now, I know that the results can be the same, but GED is more populated oriented, which means the way they process data is different than other DNA sites, such as Ancestry and 23andMe, which is mostly the reason why they do not use those sites to prove or help prove their Israelite ancestry. So also,
keep going.
Yeah, also it is very hard to trace your DNA results back to the peoples of the early AD and BC, and it is especially even more difficult to trace your DNA results back because of the many mixings of the DNA of the peoples of North and South America from generations to generations. They use the wrong project and population. And basically, GEDmatch has different populations that is used more to target one's background ancestry. So therefore, when you use GEDmatch, you have to know which project and population to choose that is based off of your ancestry. So when you choose the wrong project and population, you're going to get faulty results, because when you run your raw DNA file, the project processes your information based off of the project that you have chose. So therefore, they get the same faulty results. To prove this, like Sister E, Kelly Richardson, William Brown of the Boom Church, they like to use GEDmatch, and we have proof because on his ministry's page, he told the users and members to use DNA to prove their membership. And then on the Facebook post that he posted, you can see that William Brown, he used GEDmatch to prove that he has Lemba blood in him, which makes him a supposedly Israelite by blood. I also shared the same, so we saw that earlier. Yeah, so G-Con is definitely another witness.
Oh my God, this is
it was it was told to me, you know, that person did that, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And they was like, "Yeah, because they did it with theirs already too. They know how you can play with it, how you can build your own. So yeah,
Right,
that's
exactly.
definitely what they've been doing. That's why
Yeah.
I asked Sister E if she don't mind, let me see it. You know what I'm saying? Let me take a look at it and let me see. And that's not the case with that. You know what I'm saying? You know, Dante forcing, I find it odd. Like it's real odd to where when you can look at some of the old ancient pictures and you can look at some of these Israelites and you can see that they heavily got beards. You know what I'm saying? They have like this type of Arabic color, and the type of color is still how their ancestors look, like the Kurds and all these different people. Like when you start looking at these different people, the Assyrians, and I run into those people a lot in California. They still look the same.
And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're going to say what? China. All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what? China. All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese. China. Russian. Russia. Italian. Italy. German. Germany. Swedish. Korean, Korea. Egyptian, Egypt. Nigerian, Nigeria. Black.
Exactly. Nothing. Tell him, Pastor. Tell him, Pastor. Black, nothing.
I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue.
I want to say peace and blessings to everyone. And I want to make sure I bring Pastor Maury William Brown, which is my cousin, pastor of Boom Church. Let me go ahead and adjust the screen here. But we got a lot to cover here. We're going to go ahead and expose a couple of things here. The reason why we let these clips play in the intro is just so that way you guys can kind of get the backdrop for those that are not fully familiar with what transpired. There was a lot of false accusations being tossed around, and which is very unfortunate that it has to resort to Pastor Majors and Pastor Brown and myself having to do this type of session. He is a pastor. He is a moray. I'm a pastor. I'm a moray, and we should not have to do these type of videos. But because of the slander, because of the things that have been tossed out there. So we have to address these false allegations. And Maury Brown, my cousin, I'm going to ask you to, if you want to just go ahead and just say a few things before we get into it. If you want to just go ahead and just say hello to the people. Shabbat Shalom to you and the family out there in Atlanta.
Yeah, definitely. What's up, cuz? Thanks for having me on. Shabbat Shalom to everybody out there. Shabbat Shalom to everybody out there. All the brothers and sisters who are tuning in, despite nationality, but believe in the creator of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so I thank all of you for tuning in on tonight as we have a discussion and just look at a few things. And it is my prayer that because we don't have to, as well as the people don't have to endure this type of foolishness again. We can just go on about our business and do the work of the kingdom.
I appreciate it. And I see that person, say Salim, making comments inside the thread. And I'm going to say this to you. I don't know you, but please do not come on this channel and be disrespectful. For you to make state what you're stating, please do not come on this channel and be disrespectful. I don't know you. Neither one of us know you. And truth be told, as Pastor Brown made it clear in his video, we did not go out seeking to do DNA testing. We already knew our heritage well before all of this. You know, through our family history, our family tradition, and so forth. So this is not something that is new to us. But because the urban apologetic community constantly back then, this is before we dealt with vocab and all those guys. We were dealing with Bishop Eric Mason and Damon Richardson. They kept asking for DNA to prove who we are, right? And so, with that being said, we did this, and this is not just one test. We just revealed one test publicly, but we have
Yeah.
plenty of other testing that we have done to substantiate what we have, what our claim, to confirm who we are. So again, matter of fact, moderators, just go ahead and block her out, because I don't like the disrespect in the channel. I don't even like the spirit that she's bringing up in here, the divisive spirit. Because if she truly had a question, she could have reached out to Moray offline versus making it public. And see, that's how we're supposed to do things biblically. We're not supposed to be publicly ridiculing one another and all these different things. And we've constantly have taken the high road, but constantly are brought into these discussions like this. So with that being said, Pastor, do you have I know you have a presentation that you want to go ahead and share that with me, and I'll bring that up. But again, guys, I want to just encourage you guys, our brothers and sisters that are in this chat, let's be respectful to one another, regardless of whether we agree or disagree. If you are part of the church, even if you're an urban apologist, if you're part of that community, please be respectful on this platform. We don't go to your platforms disrespecting you. And I want to make this clear. I've never been to Sister Cherry's website. I've never been to any of those things. I've never even gone to her page. Neither one of us. Why? Because we are pastors and we deal with things at the level of a pastor. And this is what raises questions of what pastors are these guys up under? Because a true pastor would not allow anyone from their ministry to behave this way, because you're representing a ministry. And so I'll say that again, we are pastors. So let's be very respectful on this channel. Let's be very respectful, regardless of whether you agree or disagree. It does not warrant you to be disrespectful on this, not just on this channel, period. And so that's biblical. And show me one scripture that says that it's okay to call names and the behaviors that we see. So let's see here, Pastor. Whenever you're ready to share the screen, if you want to add to what I just pointed out, feel free.
No, I think you laid it out. I saw earlier. I can't see her comments, but one of the sisters, one of the Moras, that sent me a screenshot that she was in the comments apologizing for saying that we were pushing DNA tests or something. But my thing is, if you wanted to do that, you could have reached out. Not only that, but at the same time, she did it publicly. But as what you're telling me, she's also still fighting people in the chat room or whatnot. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys probably blocked her, but if you did, you may have to, do that so that way everybody can stay focused. Sometimes, brothers and sisters in the chat can't stay focused because they're too busy fighting an individual. But if the moderators have, she can watch without commenting. But other than that, just walk me through this. I guess, do I hit the share screen button? Because it's my first time on StreamYard.
Yeah, on your end, you should see a share screen button.
Okay.
And then what it'll do, it'll bring up a pop-up, and then you select what you want to share. Whether it's it'll just share whatever you want to share on my end. Okay. And then I'll be able to bring you in.
All right. Let's see here. I guess this share audio. Okay. There it is. All right. Do you see that, cuz?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
And so I'll just go ahead and sit back and let you present your presentation to the people, just giving them proper clarity and clear up all the confusion that have taken place over the past week or so. So I'll just go ahead and turn it over to you.
Okay, let me see. I'm hoping everybody can see this. I just kind of opened up my window, so I know we have a delay on YouTube, so I'm just taking a few seconds just to see if they're okay. That should be good right there. All right, so the conversation, the point of tonight is to really look at GEDmatch and kind of do not a full in-depth teaching on GEDmatch, but just kind of a basic introduction of GEDmatch, and we're going to kind of deal with the things that was the accusations of the different projects. We're going to look at that. We're going to also look at the email that was sent to me that I sent to GEDmatch based on the accusations of faulty results. We're also going to look at some of the information on the projects on the site that when I talked to someone from GEDmatch on the phone, they kind of walked me through it. So we're gonna kind of get that. And when I talked to them on the phone, I've been talked to GEDmatch on the phone just to kind of get an understanding when we kind of first did it, so that way I can get a breakdown of how to read the results and whatnot. And so I contacted them again to talk to them personally on the phone about some of the email that I got to make sure that I was getting some clarity of certain target groups and target areas and why they do it the way they do it. So that way tonight we can present it to the people, and that way there's no confusion about GEDmatch or anybody that want to look at it or have looked at it. Some people have put it down because they can't figure it out, so I want to hopefully this tonight can kind of give a little understanding, and I also want to kind of get into looking at some other things that was in the conversation about people not looking like certain people and people look like people. And there was a accusation that, well, you don't look Ethiopian, like all Ethiopians look the same, and that's because it's crazy. But we're going to look at that and then go from there. And then we're going to also look at the percentages and the distances of why sometimes maybe some people don't look like maybe some of the modern people that we see today. There are situations where genes do skip. You may find somebody that was a great grandmother, like my wife. Her, she looked more like her great grandmother, more so than her actual mother and her father. So that can happen based off genes and things like that. And I'm not presenting tonight as an expert at this. I'm not presenting it as an expert. I'm just relaying the information of when I talk to GEDmatch, and I want to pass it on to the people so that there is no confusion and whatnot. So let's look at this. Let's go. So we're looking at the first. And so this is on the screen here. You're seeing, of course, because you pretty much are familiar with the login information. So when you go to GEDmatch, you should have, if you have not registered, you should be able to register by clicking this link, because you can't get into GEDmatch and upload your raw DNA file without having some form of registration, which will be done by email and a password so you can log in and all that good stuff. So the next thing you see on the screen here is after the login. I know some of them probably going to take this information down, but I'm going to warn you so you don't get deal with somebody. This is public record. This is just a screenshot off of public record. So this is not my information, by the way. But this is just kind of a screenshot, just a basic screen of how it looks. You see your DNA resources, which is that bottom number there. That's M110041. That's the kit number. So you're going to have a kit number for if you have, depending on how many kits you have, depending on how many DNA testings that you've taken. So this particular person has one. I have two kit numbers because I had 2 different tests, that I uploaded there just to make sure that both of the tests was reading the same with the information as we both of us have done. So over here up under the upload files, you see Plasma Raw DNA. So these are your sites, FTDNA, Family Finder, XDNA, 23andMe. Most people, I know when we did it, most people either used 23andMe or Ancestry to upload their raw DNA. You download it from the website, from the Ancestry website or the 23andMe website. It'll download as a zip file on your desktop, and then once you create your file, your profile, you can come in and upload it here. And so the next thing that you're going to see once you click on your kit number, you're going to see these particular options. So you'll see one-to-one matches, one-to-one compare. You could take another kit number if you know somebody else's kit number. And this is very important. You just don't sling around your kit number. Okay, I want everybody to listen to me very carefully. It's like your social security number. All right, you do not share your kit number. And this is something that even when I talk to GEDmatch or the people who bought GEDmatch, when I talk to them, they tell you this over the phone. Listen, man, do not be giving your kit number. This is valuable information. So somebody talking about, hey, let me see your kit number. I want you, let me see. No, like, let me see your social security number. Give me your credit card information. You protect this with your life. This is very important to you. So you see here at Mr. Heritage, which we're going to get into because we're talking about heritage. Okay.
Hey, Moray, can I jump in real quick just to give a little more explanations on from a database perspective? I'm a geek here. Yeah. And so just so everyone understand, just to kind of debunk some of the stuff that are out there, none of you can go into GEDmatch and manipulate data. It's impossible, right? So you're downloading your results, your raw results from whether it's 23andMe or Ancestry, and what you're doing is you're uploading it into their database, right? And they already have things that are already preset, templates and all. And from a database perspective, you use the term query. So when they import your data up into their system, their engine that they developed, you can't manipulate anything within there. Only thing you can do is just add your information there. So it's impossible for you to manipulate to try to force certain results to come out unless you have the tools to actually put together a kit on your own. And none of us have those things.
Right.
So if you even try to open up the raw file, you'll see let's just say in Word, you'll see tens of thousands of ones and zeros and other characters that you would not even be able to read.
Yeah.
So I just want to make it clear that it's impossible for any one of us to go into that kit and try to hack into it. Why? Because they'll be able to see that on their end when they import that information. So I just want to just kind of jump in there just to kind of give an explanation on there because, just to kind of knock down even some of the things that they were saying or saying that, hey, you clicked on the wrong kit or the wrong project. So that's why it's giving these faulty results. No, that's not how data works. And I've been a database engineer from Oracle to MySQL to Microsoft SQL. That's been one of the things I've been working with for 20 plus years. So I know data, and that's not how data works.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll turn it back over to Moray.
Yeah. Because it's like when you are trying to create a video game, there's all these codes and sequences that each step, like just the simple step of when we're watching a video game, for someone to take a step in the video game, that's a code in itself. Just for the particular person, the design or the game, just to take a step or to throw a ball, that's all just a code in itself, a whole bunch of codes just to do that. So to do this, to look at this and to try to say they got it wrong, or you chosen the wrong project. That don't make sense. And we're gonna find that out here in just a second. So
and one last thing I want to share real quick, because in programming, I know we got some geeks that are in here. In programming, whether it's SQL or whether you're doing C# or whatever you're doing, there is what is called a conditional statement. A conditional statement, right? You have if, then else. If this is true, then you'll get this response, right? You'll get this information. Else, in other words, if it's false, right, then you'll get this response. But those things are already predetermined based upon your information that you upload, that raw result that you upload. So you cannot manually go in and change anything. So I just wanted to reiterate that point, but I turn it back over to you, Moray.
Right. Yeah, even within you see these options that we're looking at here. They even have projects that they've coded to predict your eye color. You use your kit, and your kit, once it processes it, it should come out with the exact same eye color that you have right now. So if you're blue eyes, when you run your kit information, this is why I tell people, like, some people, well, you shouldn't get a DNA test because, I'm not giving my DNA. I'm like, they took your DNA when you came out of the womb. They have your DNA, and they know what blood. Why you think they know what type of blood type? They can write down what type of blood type you have. Why? Because they've taken that from the time you were born as a child. But that's neither here nor there. You can run kit comparisons with this. So if you say, hey, look, if you feel as though you're related to somebody and you want to find out, say, hey, look, man, do you mind if we run a kit comparison? And, I take my kit number, you take your kit number, and we run it. And when we run it, it's going to read it and give us the markers to let us know if we are the same, so or close to, or how many generations. So let's go to the next thing. All right, so this is kind of the same screen here. Let me go to the next. Okay, so when you actually get into and you click on the first screen on your kit number, what comes up, like I had over 2,000 emails. I had over 2,000 emails, and all of these emails are going to come up based on the closest relation to the furthest relation. So if your first cousin has gotten a DNA test and that's your first cousin, their name and email address and their segments and how close they are to you is going to be right on this line. And it's going to tell you what DNA testing company they use. This is why it's very important for people to, when you get this, there's a lot of people that you can email. You don't want to just start blasting out emails that, just people, but just kind of go through. My suggestion is between your first and fourth generation cousin. Generally, they're kind of more closer to you. You probably know their mother or their grandmother or something like that. Once you start getting to like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th generation, then you got to go start talking to your great aunts. Those are the ones that can kind of tell you a little more information. But these emails, man, you have so many people. And when you start digging, you can start creating your family tree through whether it's Ancestry, 23andMe. You start talking to these cousins and they start telling you stuff like, yeah, such and such. Then they start telling you family history and things like that. And that allows you and helps you with GEDmatch to be able to know if you are 100% from Iberia or if you're not. Some of them, if you talk to the right person, because some of these family members on here, cuz they have a tree with like up to 1,000 relatives on their tree. And if you mess around and get in contact with one of them, man, they got stuff go all the way back to the time when we talking about almost close to the time when we was getting off the ship in like Barbados and the islands. And then
absolutely
get you in contact with a relative that's in the islands that can even take you back even further in understanding the DNA. in relation to who you are. So people just only are talking, they just talking. So let's go to the next thing, cuz and family. Okay. Now the MDLP, let's talk about that, because the sister on the video, she accused us of using the wrong project. Now, this is why we're here tonight. Okay. This is why we're here tonight. Okay. And so let's get an understanding of this. Under the MDLP project, depending on what you qualify for, you'll get a calculator based off of your DNA. So, and I'm gonna prove this here in just a second. Okay, but let's read this. Look what it says, MDLP project. And this is what I emailed GEDmatch, because it was, the accusation was that they're using the wrong project. So we're gonna see what GEDmatch has to say about where we're using the wrong project. Okay, and look at what it says. Each admixture runs takes about a minute or two. After you click continue, this screen will not change until it has finished processing. If you do not get a response in a few minutes, do not refresh the screen while waiting for the results. This may start another process running and will only slow things down. Thanks for your cooperation with this. Okay, now right here, you see here under there, it says enter your kit number. And I know they wish my kit number was on here, but they're not gonna play me like that.
That's right.
So right here, you put in your kit number here. Down here, you select the calculator model to use. So the one here is MDLP World, and I'm going to come back and talk about these different ones and why they're titled that. So let's look at this here. Okay, it says here in optional, it says right here, if all 4 of your grandparents, now this is very important. Now this is very important, because she's saying we chose the wrong one. But this is what it says. If all 4 of your grandparents are from the same ethnic group, which means you have to do your due diligence to try to hunt down relatives. Some of you may already know, yeah, my grandparents from the same ethnic group. But many of us, our grandparents may not be from the same tribe. So it says here, example, Polish, Swedish, or Nigerian. So all 4 of your grandparents may have been Nigerian. All right. It says that you can help the creator of this project, in his research by providing the information to him. Okay. If you provide your ethnic group, that group name, and your AP mix results will be forwarded to him by GEDmatch. No raw DNA data will be sent. If you do not provide ethnicity information, no information will be forwarded. Okay, so this is what you see on the screen. You do that drop down box. So let's go to the next one. Now let's look at what this says. MDLP K16. Why is it titled different from MDLP World? You're going to find there are going to be different MDLPs in there, and it's for a reason why they're labeled and numbered the way they are. So this is the K16 modern admixture. It says the K16 model admixture. K16 focuses primarily on 16 worldwide basics. So what it's saying is it's only going to focus on 16 different ethnic groups. It's not going to deal with anything outside of the 16 that it's already been plotted for. So look what it says here. Based off of your DNA, 16 world basic distinct components of modern human ancestry, which have been discovered and detailed, all right, in Hack. Let's drop down here. These components were empirically learned in admixture software from allele frequencies of learning merge databases of human populations, which in their turn had been converted into systematic groups of individuals, okay, which each of them represent one of 16 ancestral populations. Then the rest of the data set reference was projected onto those ancestral populations with SMP weight software. The result of component projects were averaged were averaged per each modern group of human population and taken as population reference values and component memberships. These 16 components are briefly described below. So it tells you, it's going to tell you which ones that they only use, okay? They're only using 16 based off the inventor who invented it. So here's the 16 that they're only dealing with. Now, I want you to notice here. So if these are the only 16 they're running, okay? These are the only 16 they're running in this particular project. You don't see South African in there. You don't see any of that. What you see is Amerindian, ancestors, steppe, Indian, Arctic, Australian, Caucasian, East African, Northeast Europe, Northeast, Neolithic, North African, Oceanic, Siberian, Southeast Asian, and I can't see what the other one is. Oh,
Sub-Saharan. Sub-Saharan.
Right. So Sub-Saharan. So they're not running anything outside of this. These are the only groups that they've used that they collected the data from. So they're going to run it against your DNA. And then they give you the percentages of if they match compared to these only 16. Now, cuz if you want to jump in here, you can. If you have anything, so you can, or we can move on to the next.
Oh, you're good. You're good, cuz.
Okay. So this is mine. So as mine is telling me, okay, it's telling me here that based on all of these populations, the largest percentage of population that's connected to my DNA is Sub-Saharan, and it tells me I'm 85.5%. All right. So there's some other percentiles in other places that's not in the 16, but they're only running these particular 16. All right. So let's go to the next. Now, I'm going to get into, because here's the thing that was made, cuz, and he played it in the video. The sister said they're getting the same DNA markers because all of them are using the same wrong calculator, the same wrong project, and they love to use MDLP because it gives them the same results. Now let's go with that logic. Okay, let's go with that logic, which is not true at all, because I'm going to prove to you right here, right now, that I have in my possession, and the brother is in the chat right now. He used the same MDLP project that we use. And let's see, did he get the same results? Let's see, did he get the same results? Now, let's look at this. Now, his population of Sub-Saharan is 33.93%. And he used the same MDLP. They all say, oh, yeah, we got him. I knew it. No, you didn't. You didn't know anything. So if we all getting the same result and the MDLP is faulty, then why didn't he get the same results? His results is nowhere near compared. Now, he does have some of what we have.
That's right.
But he don't have all of what we have. And the reason why me, yours, and Sister E, and it's going to be another brother that I'm going to pull up here, he was the same reason why he got the same results. You know why? Because all of us have the same DNA. We all come from the same people group. That's,
oh man, wait a minute.
Same exact DNA, and he doesn't.
Wait a minute, because because me and you family, we're not supposed to have we're family, so we're not supposed to have ours supposed to be completely different. Mine's supposed to read I'm from Northeast and yours supposed to read that way.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's crazy. So let's look at this here. It says here he's 33%, 33.9, which is 34. Okay. Look, he had hit. Look at this. Look at most all this up. Mediterranean, Northeast European. Okay. And look at all of this. Now he's down here, but let's jump over to the population. Now, this is the top 20 that we've shown. Myself, yours, this was actually the population percentage from the MDLP that she showed on the screen. That we all had the same results. It's just that you took and kind of edited it a little bit. You didn't, but you just didn't show the full 20, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Now look at his full 20, and I'm gonna see if I can. Can everybody see that on the screen? I'm gonna see if I can.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, everybody can see it. All right. Okay. All right. So you see here on the list, his number one is the Lumbee. Wow, the Lumbee. Well, when I did some research on the Lumbee is found in America. So wait a minute. The MDLP world that she said we shouldn't be using, you know why it's called MDLP world? It's because they're running matches to every ethnic group in the world.
Say that again, cuz. Can you say that again, Pastor?
The reason why it's called MDLP world is because they're running the population ethnic group results from everywhere in the world, wherever there's a population is, and they've taken their DNA. The Lumbee are in America. They're the largest diverse Indian Native American group, and they're located in North Carolina, one of the first to fight against the Klan and win, ran them out of North Carolina. And
okay, let me give him a 3-piece on that.
Go ahead,
let me give him a 3-piece. Here go the 3-piece. And let's toss out their junk doctrine. All right, there you go, cuz. I just had to put a 3-piece in there.
Listen, all you gotta do is just Google up. This is what I'm saying. They're not doing the due diligence in their research. Anybody that shows up on my DNA list, I want to know who they are. And I want to know the history of those people. I don't care if they're 60% in distance. I don't care if they're 3% in distance. It's the smaller the number, the lower the number, the closer you are to those people. And the higher the number, the further you are from those people. I don't care if it's 60%. They're still my relative because they still carry my blood and my marker. So I want to know about them. I'm not going to do what you want me to do. And none of us should do what we want to do. Just focus right over here. Use this area, this project, and this project is only going to deal with this little group of people over here. No, that's not what my DNA says. My DNA doesn't just say West Coast of Africa. That's why we run the MDLP world and not just one particular area, Northeast or East Africa or North Africa. I'm not doing that. For what? That makes no sense. Okay, so let's go here. But let's look what he got. Puerto Rican. Is Puerto Rico in Africa? That's why I'm is there a Puerto Rico in Africa? I'm just trying to figure this out.
I'm trying to figure it out too.
If anybody in the chat, can you look on your map and find Puerto Rico in Africa? That's why I'm just trying to figure this out. I need somebody to help me out here. Maybe I'm missing something. So all of his results, when we start looking at this top 20 here, okay, it makes no sense. All right.
Absolutely.
You know, so let's go to the next, which kills the whole thing. She's talking about we get the same results. This is just foolish. Now look at this. Here is his population admixture run by percentages against at least 4 populations. Okay, now look at this, cuz he has Lemba in his blood. Okay, we know he has Ashkenazim in his blood, but he also has Lemba in his blood. Okay, so when we look at this here, we also find he has Yoruba in his blood. He also has sub-Saharan Africa. This is probably the most balanced. He has more balance than me. Mine is either, because ours is either far left or far right. His is balance.
Yeah.
I mean, probably one of the most balanced I've seen. Greek, Jew, Romanian, Italian, Bantu, Mandinka. So his is very, very balanced. So let's go on here to the next. Now, on the screen, because they say, you know, when we look at, you know, some of the old pictures and we look,
man, yeah.
you know, the modern day people don't look nothing like, you know, they don't look nothing like the modern day people, but the people in the land look just like the people of ancient times in antiquity. Let's see, let's find out. Okay, now you clearly see on the screen, okay, this is a Lemba. Okay, this is a Lemba, one of our relatives on the screen. Now, this is from a documentary. He is a very successful, smart scientist. All right. Now, I'm going to show you another brother who served with us in ministry, who also had his DNA done, and his results is identical to ours. Now, this is Eric Riddick, our dear brother Eric Riddick. Okay. Now, he's also a Lemba. Now, if I go back and I compare the two, okay, they're almost identical. I mean, how many generations we're talking about here? We're talking about almost identical. And not only that, the Lembas would tell you when you talk to the elders, before they even look at any form of DNA, because they do confirm that. And of course, we've had Tudor Parfit on here. Tudor has looked at my DNA results as well, who is, I would say, is credible in the field of what he does. He was the one who discovered the Lemba. Okay. Now they're running their mouth, talking this craziness about, oh, they don't look the same. Ain't nobody look the same. And we have another sister that I know who Elder Kohen Hamadishi's granddaughter, she looked identical to her. And
that's right.
Our sister, she's a Lemba. She's a Lemba as well, based off her DNA. And there were other pictures that I was looking at today. I was like, you know, I'm not going to overkill it. There were other pictures that I looked at today because Kohen Hamadishi had already told me, like, yeah, when you guys come over here, I'm going to show you you're a twin. That's what he told me. He said, I'm going to show you you're a twin, because they understand one thing, that no matter how many generations skip, there's somebody going to look like somebody if they're a Lemba.
That's right.
It's just what it is. And so let me see. And so what I did was I said, wait a minute, let me send this to Kohen Hamadishi. And so I sent it to him. I said, man, you talk about Deacon Riddick was so blown away. He sent it to his dad. He said, man, his dad was blown away. Like, man, God, what, golly, yeah, man, y'all look like twins, you know. And so I sent it to him, and I say, wow, they look so much alike. And he told me, he said, that's Mathiva of South Africa. All right. And so all of them, they show up during the Lemba Cultural Festival, which we were trying to get to this year, but COVID blocked us, you know, from it. So maybe next year, cuz we can I'm hoping that, you know, things open up and we can do that, and we can go over to the cultural festival where, you know, they have two different languages. They have the language of song that tells the history that nobody can know and nobody can teach anybody unless they're Lemba. And they have that, and they also have their speaking language as well. But look at what it says here, you know. So I shared this with him because talking to him all the time, and he laughed. He laughed about, you know, the foolishness over here, that, you know, the stuff that we catching. So let's look at this right here. All right. So now let's get into my DNA. Let's get into more in depth of my DNA, which is pretty much the same as yours, and Sister E and Eric Riddick and some of the other brothers and sisters, which I want to put out there, you know, but no matter how many times we have to say it, this is in no means saying that we done walked into the kingdom of hell.
That's right.
No means is saying that we guarantee a spot in hell when we get
right.
to the other side. This is not what this is about. You know, we wouldn't even actually, as you said it earlier, we wouldn't even actually have done this, but they kept, it's almost like they were pressuring us. You can't prove it through DNA. As soon as we get the DNA, then they move the goalposts. Oh, well, this really don't matter. It's not about the DNA. I don't have no problem with you, but it's always moving the goalposts. So that's why I say after this, and we don't have no, like Willie D say, no more talk. We ain't got no.
That's right. That's my thing right there. No more talk.
Yeah, no more talk. We ain't got no business talking to these folks. Okay. So let me see. Let's look at it. So let's go into this. All right. Here's a video. And I'm going to prove to everybody tonight that if it don't fit, you cannot get a kit.
That's right.
You're not going to get, okay, certain projects if it don't fit your DNA.
You can't force it.
You can't force it. GEDmatch have already had it. This is the reason why the FBI used this. You know, let's put that out there even more, because they might have forgot from the last video. The FBI, they had the nerve to say that GEDmatch has flaws in choosing wrong projects, as though GEDmatch just say, hey, look, just randomly select what you want. GEDmatch said they don't do that. That's the whole point of uploading your raw DNA, and they prescribe the kits that fit your markers, or that. And so this is the thing. I'm going to show you and everybody here that in this video, this brother is going to get a kit that I don't have. He's going to get a project that none of us probably have, because we got the same marker. So how is it that he has a certain kit number? A certain project that falls under MDLP that me and you don't have, cuz it's not possible. So let's roll the tape. Can everybody hear that? Can you hear that, cuz?
I can't hear the audio.
You can't hear it? Can everybody hear it in the chat? If you can hear it, push 1.
Yeah, I don't think they can hear it either, because whatever we can hear, they'll be able to hear it too.
Yeah, I hit when I did the stream, when I did the share screen, he asked me to share the audio.
Oh, okay, yeah. It could be the browser.
Okay, well, if not, don't worry about it. We'll get to it, and then I'll show you. I'll try to show everybody. They say they can't hear it, so I don't know.
Yeah, and even to what you were just touching on too, and even though the research that I've done on it as well, it's clear that their database is better than the FBI database.
Right.
Their database is better than the FBI database, and that's why they've had to tell the military personnel to stay off of it.
Yeah,
because of potential, breaches.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm
gonna try to stream this, try to get to it, and I'm gonna try to show it. I wish you could hear the audio.
Okay.
But let me move forward here. Maybe I can kind of blow it up. So, okay, so on the screen here, he's under the MDLP projects. And fast forward, I'm trying to get to it, where he selects a particular project. Okay, here it is right here. Let me see. Now, if you notice here in his drop down, yo, he have about 12 doggone different selections.
Yeah, I was going to say he have far more than what I have.
Yo, I only have like maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
He got like 12 different ones. I don't have this at all. Okay, so let's look here. So what he's saying is, he says, I'm going to show you the ones that I qualify for, because every kit doesn't qualify to have the same MDLP projects. Okay, so on the screen here, he is choosing MDLP K13. Okay, MDLP K13. If you notice here, let me see it. Let me try to zoom in on this. Okay, trying to zoom in on this thing. Lets me zoom in a little bit. All right, I blew it up on the screen a little bit. You can see MDLP K13. Okay, MDLP K13. So when looking at this, I don't have MDLP K13.
Yeah, I don't either.
You want to say something, cuz?
No, I was saying I don't have that either.
Yeah, I don't have K13. And this is what I was trying to tell the young lady. She's so bent and so adamant on, you're proving the wrong one. You're deceiving people. We've already proved you wrong by sitting up here saying we promote DNA testing and all this other stuff. Like, here's the thing with people. Here's the thing, man. And this is no disrespect to our camp brothers, but we ain't the camp, okay? We're not the camp brothers, all right? And I'm just trying to be as modest as possible. We're not the camp type brothers, okay? We're not around here gonna stand on the corner, cuss people out. We're not gonna go back and forth with you doing 8, 9 videos, cussing you out. No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna waste our time doing that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna handle business. If you don't consider yourself to be my brother or my sister, then guess what? We move outside the realms of the scope of the scriptures. And now we just go deal with the ways of the Gentiles. We deal with it from the perspective of the world. So if you don't get that, if you don't want to deal with it the biblical way, we can always go the other route.
That's right.
Trying to explain to these folks, man. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. We shouldn't have to do all this. But let's get back. Let's get to it, cuz. So let's get back here. All right. So here's mine. Now, I don't have these.
That's right.
These are my selections, cuz. This is what I got. He had about 20 different selections. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. And I got MDLP World. I got 5, only 5. This dude had at least 10 in his drop-down menu. At least 10. And so this, it makes no sense, man. It makes no sense. Okay. So let's go on here. All right. So let's just kill that whole notion about that. All right. All right, so here's my results. All right, this is from the MDLP World 22. Okay. So, of course, sub-Saharan, 8522, 122.
And it even changed too. I could see that it changed from. Did you just run this recently?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could tell because they didn't at one time have sub-Saharan ancestral.
Right. Right.
So I could tell. I'm a geek, so I pay attention to data. That's new there. I guarantee if I did mine, it's going to adjust. So I see that that's changed, and it looks like the where you see 8 and 9 look like that bumped down some.
Mm-hmm. Now notice in this is the MDLP world. So it's running it against all of the DNA tested populations in the world. So it gives you the list of course, we saw the Lumbee, which is the Lumbee is in there. Australia. Is Australia in Africa? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, is Australia in Africa? I can't. I don't remember seeing that in Africa. And so let's also, because I want to deal with this Ethiopian thing, okay? Because I've come to the conclusion that her issue with me, because this is an issue with me, because in her post, she said the only reason why she's doing this is because of Pastor William Brown of Boom Church. Her issue after listening over and over and her coming on the post, her issue is with me because of the Ethiopian Jew or the Ethiopian that shows up on my DNA results. And her gripe is, well, you don't look like an Ethiopian. Well, she said her mother is an Ethiopian. Now, if we take that logic, because I did my due diligence on her too. I researched her too, found out who she was, okay? Looking at her, she don't look like no Ethiopian either. I mean, come on here, cuz.
Yeah.
Look at her. She don't look Ethiopian. She don't even carry the same complexion if we're going to go by her standards of what Ethiopians look like, okay? She don't even carry the same complexion of an Ethiopian. She says her mother is Ethiopian. If her mother is Ethiopian, then why is she so dark? If we're going to go by her logic. Okay? So this is the issue that I'm talking about. And for her to say, this is when I knew that she didn't know what she was talking about, because when she said, you don't look like an Ethiopian. Well, let's look at that. The percentage of the Ethiopian blood that runs through my veins is fairly high. It's over the 50 percentile mark, which means I'm further away. I'm further away from them than the other populations that are on this list. It's 66%. So, of course, I wouldn't look like one because my percentile is further away. So the higher the number, the more you're not going to look like those folks. But that don't mean they ain't your people. Or that don't mean that you don't have it in your blood. Now, the number 1% on the list is the Lemba, and it's 7%. Henceforth, out of all the populations in the world, and the entire world, I'm more related to the Lemba than I am anybody on the west coast of Africa. And the Yoruba is in there. I'm more related to the Lemba than anybody in East Africa or in the United States or anybody in the entire world, because we're running this based off of world population.
That's right.
So for there to say, well, you chose the wrong project, that makes no sense. Now, let's get into this, because I sent my DNA results. I emailed, as you see on the screen, I emailed GEDmatch yesterday at 3:17 p.m. Of course, because many of us emailed, That's why I say we not the camps, man. I don't know who they think they be messing with. You throw a claim out there, you say something, we go to the source. Okay,
That's right.
We're not finna play around with these folks. All right. So let's send an email. All right. And I ain't hiding where I sent it. I put this right there on the screen. Okay. It say, greetings. I uploaded my raw DNA report to GEDmatch, and I used the MDLP Word 22 and received these results below. I was told by someone that these results aren't accurate. Can you confirm that these results are correct? Thank you in advance. So I sent this. I sent my kit number. I sent all of that straight to GEDmatch. Verigen, who purchased GEDmatch. I said, okay, well, let's see what they got to say. And to my surprise, yesterday at 4:31 p.m. Now I emailed them at 3:17 p.m. So a little more over, an hour and a half. They responded back.
They were like, they were watching.
Like what? Like, hold on, no. So if the sister is telling the truth, what did GEDmatch have to say? GEDmatch say, hello, Will. I cannot comment on why others would say your results are inaccurate. The results look correct, and there are no problems with either of your DNA kits.
Guys, I got to put a 3-piece in here. Can I put a 3-piece in here? Let me put a 3-piece in here. Let me put a couple of blows in here.
Oh, oh,
wow.
So what was GEDmatch have to say? I mean, look what it says. The results look correct. Let me say that again. The results that you are a Lemba, all the way down to the 20th nation population that we ran against you, the results look correct. And there are no problems with either of your kits. Why? Because I got 2 DNA kits that they ran to make sure, that was correct. Given that your heritage, what is it called? Your what? Your what?
Oh man, wait a minute. That doesn't matter. They're gonna make a video off of it. Because they said heritage doesn't matter,
Given that your heritage appears to be based around ethnic groups from Africa. Aren't the Lemba in Africa? Absolutely. I would recommend, listen to what they say, recommend. See, they say they would recommend using the ethohelix, which she said that on her interview that she was doing on that, on that other show. But what she wanted to do was, with her slick self, she wanted to control where we looked.
Exactly. Exactly.
See, that's just so trying to be so slick. Just no, they shouldn't be looking at MDLP world. We don't need them running the world population. No, they can only look at ethohelix, Africa, K10. That's what she said. K10.
Wow.
You know why she wants to look at K10? Just like MDLP K16, it only focuses on the 16 that they decide to choose to run your comparison against. So guess what? She wants us to run it on 10. So now they're only going to use 10 particular ethnic groups. And they tell you the 10 in the area that they focus on, which is the West Africa and East Africa. East Africa. So I had to do my due diligence. I say, okay, you know, I want to make sure, you know, that I understand this here, because it's just a recommendation. It doesn't mean that you gotta do it. They've already solidified that the results are correct. So I said, let me try to get somebody on the phone, you know, because, you know, let's just make sure, because they, you know, told me which. So I said, hey, what's going on there? You know, I got this email and it was saying that, you know, recommendation for Helix K10 Africa. Can you give me a little background about the designer? You know, what was the purpose of why they created the K10, and you know, and whatnot. I'm just trying to get an understanding. You know, I got my DNA results, and I just want to make sure that I, you know, do my due diligence and make sure I pass this down, you know, to the family. Yeah, sure. Well, the reason why we use the Helios K10, and it's only focused on key areas such as East Africa and West Africa, is because it's kind of more focused in on the slave trade, you know, and what happened during the time of most of the slaves and were taken from East Africa and West Africa. And so we did a lot of testing in those areas. And so when the creator created the program for this population, it was taken from that. So it gives you a more detailed result of the tribes based in the East and the West Africa area. I say, oh, kind of like how, you know, Ancestry does with their, you know, with their population and migration and haplogroups and stuff. He said, yeah, it's kind of like that. So that's the reason why. Now, she wants us to stick to Helix K10, but we don't have to. You know why we don't have to? Because GEDmatch said we don't. We don't have to based on what you say, Salam, and anybody else. No, GEDmatch already confirmed that our results are correct, and we don't have no problem with using MDLP worldwide. So to your foolishness, we ain't riding with it. And if you got a problem, feel free to email Jay Tutali, technical application scientist at Verigen Inc. Why don't you contact him? All right, get him on the phone, okay? So he can tell you the same thing I'm telling you. Let's move on.
Right.
We almost done. Now let's go into Helix. So I ran mine, you know, put my kit number in there. And it says Helix African K10. Results are currently only meaningful for persons who are 100% African.
Uh-oh. Read that again.
Well, let's read this again. Helix Africa K10. Results are currently only meaningful for persons who are 100% African. Okay? I mean, come on, man. Because you got anything you want to say? I don't have.
Man. Man. I mean, but what could they say, man? I mean, it's sad that it even had to get to this right here. It's sad. I mean, wait a minute. Let me say that part. Results are currently only meaningful for persons who are 100% African. But wait a minute, because people keep throwing around this bad information that there's no Negroes here that are 100%, or, because all of us have been mixed, because how they teach it, that in slavery, the slave master messed with every last one of us.
Yeah.
Our ancestors, and that's completely incorrect.
Mm-hmm. Cuz it gives you the list of the 10.
Exactly.
Guess what? Ain't no South Africa up in there.
That's right.
ain't no South. You know why ain't no South Africa up in there? Because this 10 is only targeting East Africa,
That's right.
West Africa, and some of North Africa too, but it ain't dealing with East South Africa, where the Lembas are. I mean, come on, man. This is we close it. We might would drop the mic because
you dropped the mic right there. I mean, and again, as you pointed out, it should not have come to this point. Because you don't see them going after the Jewish community. They do not go after any other community but ours. And it's done, and that is done for a reason. Why? Because of the things that they got going on. I mean, what like KRS-One said, why is that? But I want to share one thing just to kind of piggyback on what you pointed out about the what G-Con mentioned, I guess, about the appearance. I just want to share some real quick because one of the problems that we see happening is many are going on. If you go off of appearance of what you see currently in Africa, you're going to be wrong, especially if you're looking at the what you want to call it, the Arabs and all those different things that I thought I heard G-Con mention inside his presentation. So let me show you guys something real quick just to kind of knock down some of that here. This is from a presentation that I did called Anything But the Negroes. But I just wanted to just share.
I just had to drop the mic the right way, cuz.
Yeah, I know. You walked away from it too. But let me share some with them here, cousin. It's going to debunk some of this stuff too. Outlines of ancient Egyptian history, right? And I'm just going to use them for example. This is coming from 1892, all right? This documentation, Outlines of Ancient History. And this is what they said, ancient Egyptian history. How often do we see in Eastern monarchies and even in European states a difference of origin between the ruling class to which the royal family belongs and the mass of people? We need not leave Western Asia and Egypt. We find there Turks ruling over nations to the race of which they do not belong. Although they have adopted their religion, oh man, this right here, in the same way as the Turks of Baghdad, who are Finns, now reign over Semites, the Turanian king may have led into Egypt and governed a population of mixed origin where the Semitic element was prevalent. If we consider the mixing up of races, which took place in Mesopotamia in remote ages, the invasion which the country had to suffer, the repeated conflict of which it was the theater. But let me show you one more thing. This is coming from the Journal of Cambridge Archaeological Association, right? It says this: Mr. Baldwin draws a marked distinction between the modern Mohammedan Semitic population of Arabia and their great Cushite, Hamite, or Ethiopian predecessors. The former, he says, are comparatively modern in Arabia. They have appropriated the reputation of the old race and have unduly occupied the chief attention of modern scholars. So you cannot get caught up in the modern appearance of what you see.
Right.
Over in that territory. That's big. That's exactly what they're saying here. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that here because it really starts sounding kind of almost, I hate to say ignorance when you start using terms that look at their beards, it's not curly, it's not, when you hearing those things, it's like, come on now. We need to stop it because we got all shades in our family. We got all different textures of hair in our family, so why are we trying to limit ourselves to saying that, hey, they don't look Arabic? look like the Arabs, and the Arabs there is not the original people as I just laid out here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you already know. I mean, this is something just so far out of what we, and you know, it seems as though just me researching the sister Salam, I think I'm saying her name right. If I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize. But it seems though she seemed very young. You know, she seemed like, and you know, maybe someone 23 years old, 24 years old. I don't know. You know, but I mean, it's neither here nor there. I think it's very important to bring out the information to make sure that we all do our due diligence. Everybody don't have to get DNA tests done. You know, that's not something. You know, I don't promote that. If that's something you want to do it for the fact of your family. You know, make sure
That's right.
that if you get it done, it's something that you can pass to your kids. So if they're asked, hey, where do I come from, or where do we, come from the practical sense, you're able to say, hey, look, this is the tribe that you come from, and they can pass to their kids, and that way they can know their history. Everybody has their history. I know it sounds like a broken record, but it's true. You have, people in Europe, they celebrate their customs and things like that based off their family history. And so, my thing is that I just really hope that people get an understanding and just make sure, just do this for the reason of wanting to give this to your family. We all serve the Most High. We should serve him regardless of this information. But we need to pursue after him and make sure that, we do our due diligence. But don't make this a thing that you have to get this to prove to anybody. No, if you want to do this, do it, but share it with your family. Make it personal for you and your family. We wouldn't even be talking about this if it wasn't being brought out, slandering our name and the ministry name and bringing bad light to it and all that, and trying to, destroy our credibility and things like that. We wouldn't even be going through this, and we'll be tending to other things right now. But we got to handle this and deal with this so that way, if it does spread, people, it'll be something to be able to combat the foolishness, because that's all it is. It's just a waste of our time. But I think it is good to address things so that way later on down the road we don't have to deal with it again.
Absolutely. You put it in a, you really spoke well and really putting it in things in its proper perspective. We're not saying that again. And matter of fact, just for the record again, make it clear about Boom, you know what I mean? Not making it a requirement, not going around and telling everyone to do their DNA, because I know you didn't do that. I know that's not how you operate. We never gone around telling people, hey, go get your DNA, go get no, but just make it clear, just so that way it's for the record that they understand. Now, if you want to deal with us about doctrine. We've always dealt with doctrine. We never took it personal like many of these guys are doing. But if you want to just reiterate that point to let it be known that no, that, Boom does not have that in any of the requirements to be part of Boom, that you have to take a DNA test.
No, that's far from the truth. The people that the brothers and sisters that attend Boom worldwide, they probably outnumber the ones who do have who did get a DNA test. They outnumbered. And here's the thing: many of the brothers and sisters already had their DNA test. They just didn't do GEDmatch.
Yeah,
all had, many of them who did. They've all had either Ancestry or something like that. But it wasn't until the GEDmatch situation came up that we end up people knowing about it. And a lot of people still don't know about it. But after tonight, people are just like, oh, what GEDmatch? Well, let me go check that out. Let me go upload, to GEDmatch. So, I think it's definitely I think it's definitely a blessing in itself. But it's not something that we push. We don't push that. We don't even talk about it, man. It's not even something we even discuss, and things like that. So Without a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely no. We do not push DNA testing. You do not have to have a DNA test done to become a member of Boom or be a part of Boom or fellowship at any of the Boom assemblies. We don't even do that. We don't even have our sisters sitting in the back or on the side away from the other brother. Our sisters sit with their husbands. You know what I'm saying? Families sit together. We don't do that type of stuff. So it's crazy. It's crazy. But they want to believe, they're gonna believe what they want to believe, cuz, and that's pretty much it.
Absolutely. And everyone that's tuning in, you don't have to prove nothing to anyone. But the only reason why, again, as Pastor pointed out, we did this because we do have ministries. It's different when you're just dealing with the individual, and especially with her and others throwing this thing around that's saying that we're not pastors, which that in itself is slander. And it's amazing how they are willing to jeopardize their careers by putting out slanderous information. I mean, and it's, we don't have to prove ourselves to anyone, but do not disrespect us. We haven't called them not a single name.
No.
Sister Cherry can never say that there's any videos out there that I called her any kind of name, but she's so quick, not just her, but others, so quick to throw our names out there and say what we are not, and that is not biblical, and as you pointed out, we know that just because we can prove that we're blood descendants of ancient Israel, the ancient Israelites, not converts, doesn't mean that gives us a get out of jail free card. That we still have to what? We have to be, fall up under the blood of Christ as well. We still have to accept him as well, and not some, demigod, not some Gnostic approach to it. We believe in the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, but we just, for us, it's just knowing that who we are. It's like the cherry on top. You know what I mean? If I didn't know anything about our history, I still would have this walk with the Most High. Yeah. But this is like the cherry on top, like, from the Most High. So again, definitely appreciate you, Pastor. And for everyone watching, again, stop giving this fire oxygen, right? Yeah. Because oxygen needs air to burn. Stop going to, I can't tell you what to do, but I recommend you guys leave these channels alone, because all that's going to do is continue to give oxygen or life to these places. Let them do what they're going to do. They're going to, like Pastor just pointed out, Moray Brown just pointed out, they are going to say what they want to say no matter what. No matter what we just said here, they're going to always try to find something to say, no, they're incorrect. And I want to make this clear to Sister Cherry and all those guys. We're not here trying to disrespect you, but we have to call a lie and come out with the truth. Just do what you're going to do, but leave our ministries out of your discussion, out of your conversations. So with that being said, Pastor, anything else that you want to share with the people before we wrap up?
No, I mean, I just look for, I guess, next year, 2021, to conferences and things like that. We'll be doing together and try to work out these schedules, and hopefully things get together. With all this COVID stuff, we can kind of get a couple of dates with Truth Tour going again or something.
Yeah.
Just try to get things going. So it's definitely needed. And feast days, be on the lookout for joint feast days that we'll be doing. So
absolutely
be good. So I'm just excited about that. But definitely, that's pretty much it. Thanks for having me on, cuz. It's been a minute since we did something.
Yeah.
Both of us schedules have been busy, and I got a new addition to the family and all this other stuff going on. You got a new, addition to the family, and things like that. For as a grandchild, I don't want to say that you still making babies.
Oh man, before you know it, there'll be like several videos out on that, man. Pastor Kelly making babies, Nah.
Yeah, but now be on the lookout, family. And once again, like I said, man, thanks for having me on. We clear the air up, and love you, man, and we'll go from there.
Love you, cousin. if you want to jump off, you can. I'm gonna just talk to the people for a little bit more. But I really appreciate you, Pastor, and we'll connect offline. I'll reach out to you over the weekend.
Okay. All right.
All right. Shalom. All right, family. There you have it. There you have it. And I know I didn't do my normal shout outs today, but there you have it. And I just wanted to just touch on something real quick before I wrap up here. I just wanted to touch on one thing real quick because again, just to make sure you guys understand what slander is. And this is not just dealing with the urban apologetic community, but guess what, guys? We got to make sure that we're respectful and that we're not slandering anyone as well. We got to make sure that we are staying clear from the slander. So let me just share something with you here, so that way you understand what slander is. Let me just go further here. Let me just get to the law dictionary so you understand what slander is. Let me see. I think I have it here. Yeah, here it is. This is coming from the law.com dictionary. This is what slander is, right? Oral defamation in which someone tells one or more persons an untruth about another, which untruth will harm the reputation of the person defamed. Slander is a civil wrong, in other words, tort, and can be the basis for a lawsuit. Let me say that again. Let me read that part again, because this is one of the things that many don't understand, like I believe many in the urban apologetic community truly don't understand, because they're so quick to try to slander us, so quick to try to challenge and damage our reputations. And guess what? We have to defend our name. We have to defend our reputation. If it cannot be done the biblical way that we handle it between one another, then we will have to take it to the court system. So let me read it one more time, guys, so you understand this. Slander, oral defamation in which someone tells one or more persons an untruth about another. Now, just even using the term by saying that I am not a pastor, or Pastor Majors or Moray Majors, he's not a pastor, that is slander. If you're using terms like false prophets and all those different things, that is slander. Just because, somebody can make a mistake, right? Somebody could be in error, doesn't necessarily mean that they are a false prophet, right? We saw Peter in error. Does that make Peter a false prophet? Did that make Peter a false prophet when Peter began to, curse and do all kinds of things to show that he's not connected to the Hebrew Israelite Messiah? So we have to understand this correctly. So we don't need to do all these different things, because people are watching us. They watching us. They watching how we behave and how we carry ourselves, and they watching how you guys carry yourselves. And so that can cause people to want to completely walk away. So let me read this one more time. Oral defamation in which someone tells one or more persons an untruth about another, which untruth will harm the reputation of the person defamed. Slander is a civil wrong, in other words, tort, and can be the basis for a lawsuit. Damage, in other words, payoff for worth. For slander may be limited to actual, in other words, special damages. So I wanted to just really highlight that there. And I want to also highlight this here too about assault, because guys, you have to be careful of how you verbalize things, because it can come across as a threat or an assault, right? Let's see what assault means real quick. It says the threat or attempt to strike another, whether successful or not, provided the target is aware of the danger. The assaulter must be reasonably capable of carrying out or carrying through the attack. In some states, if the assault is with a deadly weapon, such as sniping with a rifle, the intended victim does not need to know the peril. Other states' laws distinguish between different degrees of assault depending on whether there is actual hitting, injury, or just a threat. So we have to be careful of how we do stuff. And that's why my cousin Moray Majors, William Brown, Pastor Jerry Carr, myself. We've been very conscientious about what we say and what we do and how we present ourselves. And if you notice, I've been under so many different attacks, but guess what? I still made it a point to take the high road. So that's why I even said, going back to the pews, be careful of what you're throwing out there, of saying what I can't do and what I cannot do. All right. Be careful, because guess what? I got it all noted. All right. So just leave us be, do what you're going to do, but keep us out of your discussions. There's no need for all of that. All right. So with that being said, family, let me just give some shout outs real quick before we wrap up. You guys normally, you know how I normally do. I normally just go through here and give some shout outs. I can't see everything from the beginning, but I want to say peace and blessings to Donta Wright. I want to say peace and blessings. Been a while since I seen you, Mr. Blacktastic. I want to say peace and blessings to you as well. I want to say peace and blessings to Tia Ya. Appreciate you for tuning in. Soulfully sowing seeds. Want to say peace and blessings to you. Sister Carol, that's right. Mic drop, right? All right. Let's see here. Who else do we have on here? And again, tomorrow we'll do our normal late night playbook. All right. Let's see here. Peace and blessings to Jay. Appreciate you for tuning in as well. Who else do we have here? I want to say peace and blessings to Lynn, Sister Lynn. All right. Sister Yvette, want to say peace and blessings to you. Who else do we have up next? Want to say peace and blessings to you. J. Paul, peace and blessings. 12 tribes, peace and blessings. Getting ready to wrap this up. But yeah, guys, just wanted to just give some shout outs here. I thought I saw some others here, but Sister Veronica, Devorah Cotton. Let's see here. I can't go through all of it, but at least I just wanted to give some shout outs here. Yakova, I want to say peace and blessings to you. Tyrone Smith, everyone, you know, and those that I didn't get a chance to mention, please don't take it personal. It's just a lot of names here, but don't charge it to my heart, you know. But again, you guys have a blessed Shabbat, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up here tonight. But thank you again for tuning in. Appreciate all that you guys have done. And as we always close out with Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 and 14, the Most High had, through Moses, had to give Israel a word of encouragement because of what they were facing. They had the Egyptians coming up from behind to attack them. And in front of them, it seemed like they had the impossible in front of them, this water in front of them, this obstacle in front of them. So Moses had to say to the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh. These Egyptians that you see today, in other words, these strongholds that you see today, you know, these situations that we see today, the attacks that you see today, you know, all these different things that you see today, you will never have to deal with it again. It will not have power over you again. Why? Because the Most High will fight for us. But the key is we have to hold our peace. All right. Can't go back. Can't stay here. Keep moving forward. Can't go back. Can't stay here. Keep moving forward. And for the last time, can't go back. Can't stay here. Keep moving forward. Shalom.